Superior Court, Municipal Court said to me how important Richard Ansell was to them in their careers. His reputation and his name was unmatched. So in thinking about how I could talk to you about Richard and how he was as a lawyer, I remembered a story about one of the first times I had a case with Richard. I think this story sums up the type of man Richard was. It was back in the early 90s. I was literally practicing law for a couple of minutes. And we all know how much of a supporter of Planned Parenthood Richard Ansell was. I think he represented them for free, based upon how strongly he believed in their principles and their causes. So back then, they were located on Route 520 in Shrewsbury, and they received some type of ordinance violation, some type of zoning thing. Nothing serious, nothing criminal. But since they were a corporation, a lawyer had to appear in court. So I can remember him, it was the morning, he says, "Mitchell, come in here. I got an easy case for you tonight." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You gotta go to court, represent Planned Parenthood." I'm like shaking in my boots. I'm like, "What do I have to do?" He's like, "Just go in there and take care of it. It's nothing major, it's just an ordinance violation. You'll be in and out, it's no big deal." All right, so I'm a lawyer now, I figure I gotta go to court. That's what I'll do. So I go to Shrewsbury Municipal Court, and back then it was this old building on the corner of 35 and Sycamore. It was not a big building at all. I get out of my car, and there were hundreds, I'm not exaggerating, hundreds of protesters with pickets and signs and other things too graphic to mention here, looking at me that I was Planned Parenthood's lawyer, and that I was basically the devil. I couldn't even get myself to the courtroom. I took care of the case. I had to get a police escort to get me back to my car. I kid you not. I didn't think I was getting out of there alive. So the next day I go to work, I say, "Richard, what's up with that? What did you do to me?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Did you know what was gonna happen?" He's like, "Mitchell, you're a lawyer now. You gotta learn to think on your feet and adapt to any situation." I'm like, you know what? The man's right. I think deep down inside, he sent me there on purpose, knowing that this was gonna make me a better lawyer. So that's the kind of lawyer Richard Ansell was. He never shied away from a fight, and he defended his clients with such vigor and such passion, with every ounce of fiber in his body. His clients loved him. I get calls to this day telling me how Richard Ansell saved their lives, and still coming back to the firm because of what Richard did for them. He would post his client's bail. Think about that. He'd post his client's bail and think nothing of it. And I'd say, "Richard, what are you doing?" He's like, "I'm representing a client." I don't know if my dad or grandpa liked that too much, but he did what he did. I'm so blessed to have been able to call Richard not just my uncle, but my law partner for the better part of 25 years. And I'm more blessed and thankful that Mary and I got to spend so much quality time with him over the past 12 months. We would sit on his porch, and it was so peaceful, and it was so relaxing, and he would just talk about life. And I'm so happy that he was able to go out on his own terms. I mean, what else would you expect from Richard Ansell but to control the way he died? I mean, that's it. He was just so cool. So several years back, Richard was honored with the Abe Zager Award for being Professional of the Year. And he gave an amazing speech that day. And my cousin Brian thankfully reminded me about that speech and sent me a copy of the speech. And I went through it, and there's a quote in there from him, not from anybody else, that I wanted to read today, because I really believe this quote sums up Richard Ansell. Listen carefully. "The real issue is, what kind of person do you want to be? Once you decided that, it should govern all of your human interactions. What traits do you want to project? How do you want your character to be perceived by others? What shall be your reputation? Let your conduct and demeanor set a standard to be emulated, and do not allow yourself to be lowered by the conduct of others. Treat everyone with respect, even insurance adjusters." So cool. So this is how Richard Ansell lived his life. And it really is a model for all of us, as the rabbi said, to live our lives. Whether you're a lawyer or not, you treat people with respect, and you become cool, and you're good. And I know right now Richard and my dad are having a lively debate in heaven. Richard Richard, I apologize for the 1,000 questions my dad's asking about COVID. but just do me a favor, Richard, give him a big hug for me and tell him how much I miss him. And rest in peace, homie.